your dad. I've got Dr. Scholl's in my Converse now, so I can jump up and down on stage. I'm getting old, but I can still get it up for you. So sit back and pass gas, cause it's time to relax for the Caffeine and Coffins podcast.
Yeah,
Amateur,
100%.
mature.
Amateur,
that.
mature. That's right. That's right. Well, welcome back to another Caffeine and Coffins. We've got our good friend Scott Sutton here with us from a small, local, underground garage punk band called That's
Yes.
Rad.
Super small.
Yeah, super tiny. Yeah.
That's Rad actually brought New Wave back to Porch Fest.
We did, yeah.
We
We
did,
brought
yes.
synth pop back to
Yeah.
it. We sure did, man.
Good.
That was the one thing that was missing from
It
Athens
was,
music
yeah.
scene. I can tell you that right now.
Speaking of synth pop, we are drinking coffee from Thousand Faces today. Vision Video.
Yeah.
Legit local Athens, beyond local.
Yeah.
Synth pop, goth, new wave band. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
I think they had
They
what,
got their own
double the
beats.
viewership than That's Rad on their Porch Fest.
They did,
event. So
We're over there. We were over there grinding on the real synth pop,
right.
Yeah.
and they were just doing some pop punk shit. So,
Hell yeah.
but no, that came out like Scott hit me up the other day, and he's like, look at this. It was like Record Plug or something,
One of them in town.
and
yeah.
it was like Vision Video brings punk rock back to Porch
Yeah.
Fest, and we were like, well,
what are you talking about? What about all these other punk rock bands?
I'm not
No.
one to
man.
like
Funny.
hard subgenre bands, but
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure they're not like punk rock. But then again, what the fuck is punk rock? But like Evan said the other day, there has to be parameters eventually on music. When I was like,
Yeah.
Adele could be emo, and he's like, no, there has to be parameters on music.
So Adele's she's the bar though.
Adele is the emo bar cutoff. Yes.
She's the bar cut off. But no, we have lots of love for Vision Video. And those
Vision
guys,
Video
they're
rules.
fantastic.
So we got Scott here today. This is our first interview. A lot of technical problems setting it up.
Yeah.
But we really want to give CJ a blessing.
I was going to say, it is
CJ was a little stressed out.
I was a little stressed out.
CJ,
And the coffee doesn't
that dude's
help.
never stressed out. But
Such
he was a little
bullshit.
stressed out setting it up. But
I'm always stressed out.
and he's usually used to playing with so many cables.
Yeah.
Cable like structures.
There's a joke in there, but you can't
There's a
find
joke
it.
in there.
You
I can't quite
find
find it. Yeah,
You can't find it.
Find it.
All right,
Anyways,
so
we got
let's-
Scott Sutton here today.
Let's go back to Scott. Let's have Scott talk. So Scott, tell us. So I've known you now for 4 years, but I don't know like where you came from before that. So what was your like first band?
Oh man, it goes way back, probably to the late '90s, man. Actually, my first band I ever did, it was the Sex Pistols cover band.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy, right? I mean, we was like little kids, like 14 years old, man, when we was doing this shit. We was getting drove to clubs by our parents and stuff like that.
Where was
But
this?
in Atlanta. I'm
In Atlanta,
from
okay, okay.
Jonesboro, south side of Atlanta.
Nice.
Clayco represent. All my people out there know what that means.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? From the jungle down there, man. That's crazy, but yeah, man, that's and then I moved up here in 2009. And
It was the year I got married. So you've been here
yeah,
for
man.
you've been here for 14 years in Athens as an Athenian.
yep.
I love it.
Yep. My
Yeah.
son
We
was
figured
born
the
here,
person
yeah.
to get on this needed to be a true blue,
Dude, needs to be old
long
school.
term, decade old.
Hear this, man. I know a little bit about it because Scott and I have talked about it before, but tell a bit about, let CJ know, viewers, whatever, a bit about when you first got to Athens and you were trying to get in. Because I've been talking to people lately that have been moving to Athens and they're trying to get into the Athens scene, and it can be weird to
It was
get
rough.
into.
Yeah, it can be a
So
real hump to get over.
now let's talk back in the day, 14 years ago when you moved here. What did you do to get into the Athens music scene?
Well, I mean, I tried a lot of things, man. You know, I went to shows and I tried to meet up with people, you know, playing punk rock and stuff like that. And I just told everybody I was a drummer and can I get in, you know, and play with some people. And it was like, no, you know what I mean? It was pretty much like I couldn't get nowhere, right?
Okay.
And then I started reaching out to the hip hop community, man. And they like kind of let me come in. It's like, yeah, you can play, man. Come on in. So I got, you know, played hip hop for 6 years after that, you know what I mean? Because they was like really cool with me and letting me in there, man. You know, and it was hard to get in the rock scene for me when I first moved here. It was tight knit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You really had to bust around and see, you know.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, not to fully contradict, but just putting it into present day, I think it still can be hard to get into the scene here. I mean,
Sure.
I mean, I feel much more in it than I ever was before, but it's taken me 10 years to feel like, all right, I can go out and see, almost any show and be like, okay, I know some people, some members, or go to a show and see people that you know. But I mean, it takes time. And it can be tough for new musicians to come here, but not that we want to just talk about Athens the whole time, but I will say, I mean, that's why we brought you on the podcast.
It's like that about bands now, man. Like bands that are always like, hey, man, we want to play Athens, man. Let us get in there. And it's like you have to almost be invited to play up here.
Facts, yeah.
You can't really like call and set up shows in Athens, you know what I'm saying, from out of town.
For sure.
It's an out of town band, you know what I'm saying? You have to kind of know somebody to get you in and open up for somebody up here, you know?
But you could use that to your advantage too. Like, talking, if you want to get to a club in Atlanta, say in Atlanta or, I don't know, Gainesville, wherever within the Southeast region, be like, well, listen, get me there. Do you have any, if the booker at the club, like the talent buyer, or if you're talking to a band, like, I can get you in a show in Athens. Let's do a show trade.
Yeah.
That's
show trade.
Don't just go play Atlanta unless you're invited. Play it with the terms that I'm gonna play here. I'll get you here. Now you've built that relationship both ways.
I love it up here, though, man. I should have moved up here a long time ago. When I first got up here, I was like, holy fuck, this is what's going on up here?
Yeah. But listen to this shit. You failed to mention. I'm doing Scott.
Yeah, I like this. I like that you're speaking about shit.
Two hunky
PR,
guys right beside me. I'm like, let's go, man. Reminds me of last night.
It's just another Sunday morning.
Yeah,
But no,
it's another
Scott,
Sunday.
you told me that you would, when he couldn't get into any scenes when he first got here, he would set up his drums on the street and play.
Get out.
Play the
Really?
beats.
Yeah, I play one-man band shows, man. Like, that's how.
True busking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Caulfield. That's how me and Caulfield hooked up, man. We played Caledonia show one night, man, and it was like the Swing and I think maybe a couple more rock bands, and I didn't have no band, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking make some tracks on the drum machine, play it over the PA, and I'm gonna play drums to it. And then I had all these drums, man. I had like some trash cans. I had like a saw blade, just weird shit I would play and just fuck with and make it all in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Caulfield was like, "Fuck, man, that shit's pretty dope. You want to play some hip hop with me?" I was like, "Sure, man." So we that's how that went down. Yeah, I played a few shows by myself as the one man band drum show.
That's crazy.
How fucking cool is that? Like,
That's awesome.
But that got you, and people were like, oh, this dude fucking rips. Like, that's,
After that, it was easy to get where.
Well,
I
they
needed
saw
to
your
kinda
chops,
go.
and
Yeah.
you're able to get on a bill. It's awesome.
Yeah.
it sounds cheesy, but it's a reminder of like, believe in what the fuck you are doing.
Yep.
In your style, and like you said this before we started the podcast, like once you can learn to fully rep yourself, like others will get it. You know.
Yeah, you gotta be confident in what you do, man.
And the layer of.
That is something that I've been seeing a lot more of, like some of these newer bands, and maybe not. Let's not say newer bands. Let's say bands with friends or people that we've heard of from other bands. But when they release their first single or when they do their first show, like establishing a tone at that show for a kickoff is awesome. I feel like when I was coming up, it was a lot of like try until something works. Mm-hmm. But now it's like you almost want to get not polished, but you want to have a tone and a look and a feel and a set list of some kind, so that first show and on is consistent. It's succinct.
It's like
you have
setting
a brand.
precedent.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
I wish I had done that.
There's a million bands. There's new bands all the time. Like, do we need to just go see? Shit, we're playing our first original show next week. Do we need to just go see another rock band, another punk band, another, even if they're good? Or do I want to go experience something? Like, do I want to put on an experience for...
Yeah, it's not just the music business. It is the entertainment business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
true
saying?
that.
You have to fucking put it out there. You have to, command attention other than just playing songs. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who just write songs and give them to people who have charisma, you know what I'm saying? But there's very few out there that have the charisma and can write songs, you know what I'm saying? But those who do, it's good to go, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
A lot of these artists, they might write some of what they're doing. Maybe they write all of it, blah, blah, blah. But like these bigger artists, they have teams behind them. They're delivered stuff. They're working. But the artist himself has so much charisma. People can shit on all day on artists like MGK or whatever, but like you can't not.
Yeah.
You know that dude. What did you say the
Love
other
him,
day?
yeah, and love him or hate him, you know who the fuck he is,
you
man.
know,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
fuck he is. It's just a
He
lot
commands
of charisma.
attention, and
Yeah.
that's what rock I think is missing nowadays, man. It's all them crazy characters from like the early 2000s, like we was talking about like Mudvayne and like Slipknot, the people like Static X, that just look like fuck, man. Look at these dudes, they look like fucking cartoon characters, and now it's like everybody has the same fucking shirt on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the play show, all the promo picture looks exactly like the other guy. You know what I mean?
There is a band local that is doing its thing that I am paying a little bit of attention to. Ghoul Hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Ghoul Hand is sticking to the persona.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got their like hoods and everything on, and they're playing guitars, and like, you know, like you probably might know who's in there or not, but whether or not you know or you're in on the secret is part of the allure,
It's part of the
which is
allure.
pretty cool.
I was telling this to you the other day, like it was a little mystery. Mystery is great. Like you were talking about the music video. Just you want people to be like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. But I like it.
We're not telling you guys out there to go dress like MGK. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just has to be. Nobody's. A lot of people are not trying to be different, and they're scared to go that route. Yeah. Everybody's kind of being a little bit safe nowadays, which is okay, man. But I just think that's why the early 2000s was so big, man, because it was so crazy like that.
Yeah.
Everybody like the new metal. You had like Linkin Park linking up with Jay-Z. They was doing that. They wanted to reach outside their genre and get as many people. And now a lot of music, genres, they just kind of stay in their genre, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it needs to change a little bit.
Genre bending is or mixing or whatever is big, and these big artists that are doing it, something's happening around them, and the artists that aren't doing it, not necessarily that nothing's happening around them, but
it's a longer road.
It's a longer road, and there's way more artists not pushing. Not being weird, not playing it safe. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm saying, but there's way more artists doing
like
the same
run of the mill, staying in their lane.
And it might be awesome. Like you guys are sick, you guys are great, but I'm not entertained.
Yeah.
There's a few bands that are doing that now, like Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
They're fucking big because
Very
of that, right?
Yeah,
Sleep Token.
Yep.
They're killing it because of that whole allure like you're talking about. You know
what
what
does
I'm
Sleep Token do? I've heard the name a bunch, but I've never seen them.
I would say it's kind of like pop with gent, kind of.
Okay.
Would that be about right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Not my bag, personally. I wouldn't choose to listen to them a lot, but they do have some Punisher fans. They got some people there. What we call meat riders. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Right, okay.
Sleep Token meat riders. They're out there, man.
I don't even know. I love it. I had some other questions for Scott. Shit. What do we have? Scott was on an MTV show. Let's
Cribs. I was on Cribs. No, I'm just
let's talk about that.
Oh shit, way back, man. Let's go back to 2006 on that shit. Back when Room Raiders was out. You remember that shit?
All the best MTV shows. That was
Next. Remember people would get off the bus and it'd be like next. Like goddamn, that was brutal, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The guy would just barely get off the bus. He's not even a foot all the way down.
Next.
Chicks like next. Keep pouring.
Yeah. I get this fancy. I feel like I'm on Pulp Fiction with this fucking coffee, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If it's not French press, it's not.
But
What
anyway,
was the show that you were on?
It was called Yo Mama. Yo Mama, hosted by Wilmer Valderrama, man. And he did 3 cities. He started off in L.A. and it was a success. Then he went to New York with it, right? And I was watching every fucking episode. And then he said, next city, Atlanta. I'm like, oh, fuck, they're coming here, man. That's what's up. How do I get on there? And this is kind of, internet was still kind of sketchy in 2006. But I managed to find an audition at the Uptown Comedy Club. It used to be the Rec Room. Back for old school people out there, remember the Rec Room is kind of like Georgia Tech's Caledonia. But anyway, so I went up there, man. I wrote my own jokes. I didn't fucking
Caledonia is like that. No.
It was, I wrote my own jokes. I went up there, man, and I spit a few little jokes, man. And they called me back and said, you got the show. I was like, fuck, I want to be on MTV. How about that? That's crazy, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I did that. And, during the show, they come to your house and look for dirt to bag on you with. Like I went to my opponent's house and found dirt that I bagged on him with. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like you went into his house and
Yeah.
into his room.
Yep, stuff like that. So you
did
can
you
find
go
notes.
with the guy from that '70s show,
Yep.
Val?
Yep. So he came to my house, man. Right. So one morning he said he showed up and he had 2 bodyguards that had crunk jackets, and it was actually Little John's bodyguards.
Okay.
And so and then he sent somebody to go get Burger King croissants, right? So we were sitting at the fucking house eating croissants, and Fez is sitting right across from me. I'm like, and Little John's bodyguards, I'm like, this is fucking weird, man.
Yeah, that's so
and I have to get
serious.
my jokes tight, you know what I'm saying? I did pretty good, you know. I won Jonesboro, I won my hood, and then I went up against Marietta, and I got all the way to the last knockout joke, and I fell short. But you know, no pun intended. But yeah, it's kind of how that went down. But shout out to Yo-Yo, that's who I went up against.
Yeah.
He is now a professional comedian now, and that was his first show. That was his
sick.
first year, and I still talk to him. His name is Johan C. Collins. He's a pretty cool dude, man.
Yeah, you really gave him his shot.
You've
Yeah,
given
maybe.
You've given me the link. If there's a link for your episode,
There
it's
is.
like a deep YouTube link, right?
It's a deep cut. It's hard
Let's
to find
get that
a little
link
bit.
again.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
gonna drop
put it. We'll put it at the end of the
we're
video
gonna
so y'all
drop
can
it
grab
in the
it.
information below.
Yeah,
You can check out
for
Scott
sure.
on Yo Mama.
Yeah, anybody's
fuck your
mama,
cancel
right?
culture because this is 2006 jokes. So,
Yeah,
so
a lot of that shit won't fly today, man.
we'll
But
fly
yeah,
to that, so.
it was fun though, man. It was a good time, you know.
So you moved to Athens. You're getting with Caulfield at that point. Was That's Rad your first like punk or rock band out here?
Actually, right before Caulfield, I was in this band called Blind by Sight. It wasn't
Okay.
too. I don't know if you remember Blind by
I
Sight.
don't think that I do.
You Ashes to Omens.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That was the singer from that band.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, that was actually my first Craigslist response. You know, and I jammed with them for a little bit, and we did a couple things, but you know,
Ooh, Craigslist.
It was a
Craigslist
Craigslist
posting
thing, yeah.
is a crapshoot, man. I
Yeah.
responded to a. No, I put up a Craigslist posting
Yeah.
to do a cover band
That's
in
how I
Ohio.
started That's Rad, yeah.
And yours turned out better. And I got this guy to. He responded to the ad, and he was a theater actor, and he's like, "I'm a drummer, and let's go ahead and do it at my house." And I go out there, and I get to this guy's house, and it's got holes in the floor.
Yeah.
And like when you walk through, it's got like these marks that you can't don't stand here because you'll fall through.
Yeah.
damn.
I brought my amp out, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I didn't bring my wife. I'm like, this is so sketch, but he's a great drummer, and he had written out all the music and all this stuff. And then we ended up finding a bassist. He wanted to bring in a female singer, and we were doing this like classic '70s rock.
Yeah.
Did like one show, and then after the show, he like lost his shit because it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think it's safe for me to like work with you anymore.
Yeah, you're
So
correct.
I blocked his number.
The
and-
Craigslist.
Damn.
I've had a few bands form from Craigslist before. When I found Scott, so for anybody that doesn't
Could you
know,
speak into the
like,
mic, please?
that's watching this,
Can you
Scott and I,
speak into the mic,
Scott
please?
and I play in a. I'm speaking pretty loud. Scott and I play in a pop punk cover band together called That's Rad. So I was pretty new to Athens. I had known CJ. CJ had already had a band going,
Yeah.
and I met CJ just by going out to a show and like
It was
basically
a My Chem
forcing
cover
him to
show
talk
at the
to me.
Cow.
Yeah. So I had linked up with Evan, our guitar player, because we had known each other from a past life, and we were like, "Fuck, we need a drummer." And I couldn't find it. And you were like, "I don't know any drummers, man, that aren't."
I wasn't gonna give you mine. I'll tell you that right now.
And any drummers that
selfishly.
aren't in 12 bands
Yeah.
either. So I saw Scott on Facebook, and he was wearing a Bayside shirt, and I was like, "Oh, this dude probably fucks with pop punk." So I was like, "Oh, it looks like he drums for like 3 or 4 artists already." And I just sent him a message. And I was like, "Hey man, do you know any drummers that would be into punk rock?" And didn't hear from him. And then like fucking almost like 2 months later, he was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like I've been talking to a lot of Chinese. I've been talking to a lot of Chinese kratom dealers."
Yeah.
Like, he was like, "So your message got lost in my messages."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I don't know any punk rock drummers, but I would be interested in it." Which in the back of my head originally I was like, I hope that this dude might,
Right.
come out.
That's
of it.
always the ulterior motive.
And I was like, well, and I was trying to see like how gatekeeper punk rock he was, like the fucking gatekeepers that are like, that's not punk rock, and like fuck those people. And I was like, we're gonna be playing covers, like Good Charlotte and Blink-182, and he was like, oh fuck yeah, and I was like, this dude fucking rules, he gets it.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah,
he
man.
was not a gatekeeper.
And now they're doing Alan Jackson and Taylor Swift.
Oh,
You
yeah,
guys have
man.
really changed. I
They
just
went
want to
out
say,
there. Yep.
really changed.
Should I explain the whole kratom thing?
Yeah.
How that went down? So I'm sure everybody knows what kratom is.
I don't, so just go ahead and hit me with it.
It's a tea, man. It's like a wellness tea. You kind of make it, it's like powder. You mix it with water, and it's good for pain and stuff like that. It's good for energy. A lot of opiate addicts switch to it to get off of opiates and heroin. It's really helped a lot of people out in life. You know what I'm saying? I mess with it every day. I take a little kratom every day. But I was in some kratom Facebook groups, so we all talked to each other, and then I was starting to get spammed in my messages by actual Indonesian kratom farmers who were saying, buy kratom from me, buy bulk, we'll send you pounds and pounds. So I was like, fuck, man. So, they spam Facebook groups, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I had like 20 or 30 of them messages, right? And then right in the middle was Dan's message with all these kratom farmers, and then Dan's pop punk message. And then more kratom. I was like, so if I didn't go and try to delete all them kratom farmer messages, I probably never would have got the message, man.
Crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Isn't
Actually, how it went down, man. That's
That's
wild, dude.
nuts.
That's nuts, man.
Adorable.
And now, like we've been doing that thread for 3-4 years now.
So not only did kratom save me a lot of ways, but it also got me a fucking good band, man.
Yeah.
So,
Kratom saved punk rock, really.
Yeah,
If
Can we get those T-shirts made next, boys?
Kratom saved punk rock.
Hell
That's your next shirt. And it's got the
so dude, I'm doing it.
Scott, we here on the podcast we have the coffin that we dive into for questions. So I want to know if you want to maybe just grab a couple questions that have been sent in by people. Some me and Dan think.
Oh, did you call me Dad?
Me and Dad think of.
Oh, that's so sweet. Do you want me to wipe your ass like I did when you were young?
Damn.
Just hold me.
Here we go. Here we go. It's going on.
I'd breastfeed if I could. You know that.
I know you would, Mom.
Okay.
Dan, do you remember? Is the middle one the new shit? I think it is.
Yeah, just have him grab one.
Yeah, so grab a good one in there and just go ahead and read it out, and then we'll have you answer, and we'd love your perspective.
We'll probably do this, and that will probably come on time.
Yeah.
Talk about cover shows, how to make them successful.
It's like I wanted him to pick that one, and I legit I don't know how that happened. That's awesome.
How to make this? I mean, it's pretty easy
Who
formula, man.
sent that question in?
It don't say.
You don't say? Okay.
Ain't that about some shit? We'll just say John sent it in. Who the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John.
So John, so I mean, it's pretty easy formula, man. You just gotta play the hits. You know what I'm saying? Some cover bands will play songs that they like, and not necessarily what the crowd likes, and I think that's bad. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have you can do that, but you gotta have a good mix. Play the top 40 shit, man. Play all the
Sweet
bangers.
Caroline.
Yep. When you start playing B cuts and shit, I think you start missing the plot. You know what I'm saying? You really got to stay strong on just playing bangers and play whatever genre cover you do, but just play the hits out of that genre. You know what I mean? That's what I would say about how to make them successful.
We'll do a lot of we'll take requests from the crowd sometimes, and we'll discuss it.
Write them down.
And we'll be like, that's too much of a like Scott says this often, Scott's like, hey, I think we know what they want to hear more than they know what they want to hear, which sounds crazy.
It's a lot of hubris there, bro.
Yeah, sometimes we'll get these requests, and it's like that's too much of a cut.
Yeah.
So we'll even look at Spotify and be like, well, literally, what song has the most play? Yep. We should do this one instead of this one.
Playing songs you didn't know you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And listening to your band members too. I remember we were trying to do TBS, Cute Without the E, and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Never heard it. Isn't that weird?
And I was like, I promise, let's do one show. And Scott's like, oh fuck yeah, this kills. Or 1985 by Bowling for Soup. I know I could feel the pullback from Evan on that one. And I was like, Tanya's gonna slap, and then it fucking slapped, and now Evan sings the chorus, and he's like, oh yeah, hell, this song is just dope.
I will say that although I heard a few boos in the back from some older gentlemen, I won't name any names here, but the Nickelback one y'all did. Killed, which was I was like, what is happening right now?
Nickelback, hell yeah, dude, you got to get the butt rock, man.
Everybody was going nuts for that. When's Hoobastank hitting the stage for you guys?
Oh shit, we never even thought about Hoobastank. What's the song?
The Reason.
The Reason.
Oh damn, yeah, that was good.
The Reason is you.
Play the hits, man.
Play the hits also, and be funny with it. You know what I mean? Be funny with it, and read the crowd, like you said. Make sure what reactions get the most, and keep them songs in pocket. You know what I'm saying? And maybe, rework the other ones that didn't get that big of a reaction. But every crowd's different, man. We'll go to 5 Points and play, and Taylor Swift hit. You know what I mean? Avril Lavigne didn't hit. Go to Flickr, Avril Lavigne hits. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the spot in the crowd, man. So you really don't know. You know what I'm saying?
If we do a new one, we give it 3 tries, I think, until we say we're going to keep it or not. Like the first time we played Lifestyles.
So good.
Yeah, and then the second second time, and then we hit it with the right crowd. And it's like, yeah, people love lifestyles, you know.
So all right. So diving into the coffin, as it were.
Yeah.
What was a track that you guys got rid of that didn't go well?
Got rid of.
So who have you dropped due to that three rule? The rule of three.
My finger's literally stuck in this. I can't get it out.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
shit.
a Chinese.
That was the first time I got my finger stuck
Chinese
in it.
strap.
There we go.
What have
I
we
had
dropped?
lube in my pocket, but you
We dropped that Motion City soundtrack song, which would probably do better
Poor
now.
Kyle.
Yeah.
We dropped that early.
We had a Bush song, Glycerine. I don't
Oh,
think we
yeah,
really
we
played
dropped
it out, but
Glycerine.
we dropped that one too because it was kind of a weird remake a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I remember that one.
And it wasn't, and it was, I think we did it 2 or 3 times, and it was never like, people were never like, fuck yeah. So we just we just let it go.
we really haven't dropped many though, have we? I mean, we pretty much.
No.
You just got him in the rotation.
Yeah,
pull him
in the
out as
rotation.
needed.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like Alistair is a deep cut, and we'll pull it out once in a great while.
Yeah.
But we pulled it out at the last Flickr show, and it was, I think John was the only one that knew who the fuck we were playing. But
That's true. It's a good song, but it's
how
very
do you
deep.
guys decide on your My Chem set? Because
Well,
people
we did-
fucking love My Chemical
Yeah,
Romance.
we made the mistake that Scott was talking about a second ago. We went with the ones that we wanted to play.
Yeah.
And also there's some really good ones that I didn't feel comfortable playing. So I've got 2 rules. Number 1, if you're gonna play it, you have to play it well. Doesn't mean it has to be like to the record perfect, but you gotta be in your band's version. It's gotta be done well.
No.
And
That's
so
what we do.
and yeah. And then the other rule for me is if you're gonna cover a band's song, try to pick an older one. So if they're like touring nonstop, try not to like take one that the
Rotation.
audience might be able to go see next week in Atlanta.
That makes sense.
You know, so like, and which was interesting for me. Like when My Chem came back and started doing their sets, I was like, it actually was better for us because people maybe couldn't afford to go or couldn't go, and they were like all about it. But I'm like, you know, you mentioned like Motion City. If Motion City is going to be at, you know, Atlanta for some big fest or something like that, it's like, hey, maybe pull out some of their classics, but don't do, you know, a new track that came out. So it's the new ones.
Like we did Edging, and
well.
it's never gone over. It's never gone over well. It's just too new.
It's too new.
Play the fucking classics. Like
Yeah.
it took you guys a minute.
It did.
To do I'm Not Okay in Teenagers.
It did.
And I would
It
go
did.
see you and I'd be like,
And
I don't
just-
want to tell them what to do, but
For
why
sure.
the fuck aren't
And
they
you told me
playing these
anyway.
songs?
But
they hit
for
too,
sure,
man.
like,
Tell you, Dad.
I'm Not Okay. I did not feel comfortable singing and doing well.
Yeah.
And then Kyle was like, I'll do it. I was like, oh, thank God. Because it's not that I didn't want to play. It's just I don't want to, you know, get up there and your voice is cracking. You can't hit the note.
Here's the thing, though,
Yeah.
with and I tell this, I say this a bit.
Blah, 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 blah.
You can blah 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 blah, right? But with I'm Not Okay, like whether Kyle's singing, like you can
Audience
can
participation.
get away with it. You can drop the
Yeah.
parts that are high, drop the octave. The crowd is going to be singing so hard on that. You can save your voice, drop the octave. Like, you know, oftentimes we won't play Misery Business because we don't have a female to do it. Yeah. But I'm like, yo, we can get through this enough to play it. The crowd is going to be, if the crowd is asking for Misery Business, play Misery Business. Yes.
Pull people out of the crowd, too.
Yeah, or pull someone out of the crowd. Yeah. Yes, I sing it an octave lower, and I make some of the melodies a little bit easier, but they're going to fit, and the crowd is going to be singing so hard with it. It's all, like, in the moment. Yeah. Let them have it.
Yeah.
Like, save your voice for it. It doesn't have to be this, like perfect production of it. You want to play it right? Yes. Right. But the crowd is going to sing I'm Not Okay so fucking hard.
You're right.
You don't even...
And teenagers, I was dropping a half step in order to sing it, and then I was finally realized that there was so much crowd participation that as long as we could get through the verses, which was easy, the choruses like made themselves.
Yeah. Like you're more at that point. Those songs are so popular, and the crowd wants them so bad. You're more or less singing it just to help keep the band in time with where we're at.
Get the music tight, and then let the vocals do what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, speaking of which, our next show, I'm going to change that out for Famous to Teenagers. Thanks for the reminder.
Oh yeah, that's sick. Yeah,
I love it.
We're getting pretty close to probably 25, 30 minutes.
Let's hit one more question
Let's
for
hit
Scott.
one more
We got him here. Let's give him a few
Yeah.
extra minutes,
Pull one
man.
out. Pull
All right,
one
grab
out of the
another
box.
from the
Oh,
coffin.
pulling out of the box, not just pulling out.
Yeah, pull one out. Scott, pull one out. Scott unzips his pants and starts pulling it out.
And we went to a non-video podcast. we got?
Discuss the inspiration behind writing songs and what those songs mean to you.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah, I mean, I don't really write a whole lot of songs, you know what I'm saying? I guess I produce songs here and there with parts and stuff, but
Well, let's talk about, y'all are doing some recording right now.
Yep.
And you're writing some drum parts, and I know
Sure.
Dan's been doing a lot of programming of drums, but then you're coming in and giving it your own flair. So just talk about that a little bit. Like, you know, if somebody comes to you with an idea that's almost fully formed, like,
Yeah.
how do you not take offense and yet still write in your parts?
Yeah,
literally,
that's
I
a-
do
that's
this to
a- yeah,
Scott
that's-
once a week. So
that's
this
a
is
good question, man. Well, I just, what my goal is try to get the best out of what the artist gives me. Like,
Okay.
what can I pull out and whatever they give me, can I make it that much better for them? You know what I'm saying? It's not really me. I'm just want to just make the best for what the artist wants to give me, man. But shout out to Dave, too, whoever Dave is. That's who got the question out there.
Nice.
But, yeah, I mean, this is a weird line. You know, you don't want to be offensive and like, no, let's do it this way after you spent all that time making it one way. But
Yeah.
just kind of, I don't know, man. It's got to kind of just work together on it, I guess, but also just be honest. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Like, let's do it like this. I'm telling you, it'll work better. You know what I'm saying?
And I think it's the beautiful thing about recording versus doing, like, convincing your bandmates, or if you're stepping in for a live show, it's like, hey, we're only gonna get the audience gets to hear this once, versus like, hey, let me try it this way on this track. If you hate it, I promise I'll go back and I'll do it the way you want it. But we do that, I will say, like, in the studio a lot. Like myself and Kyle and Tyler. I mean, it's like when because we record individually, I'll be the mixing engineer or recording engineer, and then I'm listening to the drums and like, hey, try it this way, try it that way, and I will say, like, Tyler and I work really well there, and then Kyle and I, we butt heads a little bit in a good way because creatively we heard something totally different, and when we come together, it's like, wait, how do we like get together there and find something where we compromise a little bit, but both could be quite happy with the outcome.
Yeah, some people are better at writing and some people are better at producing it. You know what I'm saying? I think if you get a really good writer and a producer, that's gold, man. You know what I'm saying? You got it right there.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Scott has a lot of I feel like I'm at a point where like I'm actually writing with you for the Phantom Dan stuff. So exactly what you said. I'll give him feels, and he'll come in and be like, yeah, we should do this or we should do that. But we've spent a lot of time mixing, like on Bad Habits and Get So Low. That like we've spent hours just sitting there listening to it.
These are
Scott
upcoming
will be like,
Phantom Dan tracks.
Yeah.
Scott will be like, bring up a snare, bring down there, let's try this, let's try that. And like really at that point you're just producing. I'm just sitting there trying to keep up with like all his suggestions.
The tips,
But we're like at the end we're like, fuck. Like that sounds sick.
Hell
So
yeah.
you have a lot of producer qualities in your ear. And I
yeah.
think that's partly
Appreciate
too because Scott is like this was one thing I wanted to touch on and maybe we can drift there. Scott is like one of the few people that is really up on like new music. Most people that I talk to, like, they're very stuck in like what they listen to.
Sure.
I'm stuck in early 2000s. Like, I get it. But Scott is one of the, most of my friends are musicians, and everybody's always like bringing me, oh, check out this band, check out that band. And usually I'm like, nah, like, okay, it's good, I get it. But if you know me, you know I fucking like hooks and I like catchy music. And if you're going to bring me stuff and it's artsy, like, cool, I might enjoy it, but am I going to keep listening to it? Scott's one of the few people that brings me music where I'm like, oh man, this does slap, and I get into it.
Yeah.
So, Scott, how do you find new music?
Hey, there's a good question.
New music at this age that you're actually like, yo, I can get with this.
Oh, man. Well, of course, y'all probably know. I follow this guy, Finn McKenty. He's like a guru and all this shit, man. He knows all this stuff about all this types of music, man. And he does YouTube channels and Twitch. He does Twitch a lot, and he has requests for new music. People send him music, and he just puts all this new music out there, man. And I just follow him a lot, and I just found out about a lot of different types of bands and a lot of artists through him, man. He's like he's the goat of that type of shit. Wouldn't you think, man? He's pretty good.
Scott will literally pull up to band practice and I'll like help take some stuff out of his car and I'll hear like somebody talking and he's got like his phone set up with a Finn McKenty podcast going that he's just listening to, talking about. And sometimes you'll bring me an artist too that I'll be like, nah man, like Fat Nick. You brought me Fat Nick a couple times and I'm like, I don't know, I just don't get it. And finally you brought him the other night and I was like, okay, I'm sold on Fat Nick. Like, I get it, and now I've been listening to him. or Sincere Engineer.
Yeah, good
Like,
band, man.
They're dope. You've got the up on new music for sure.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Well, Scott, any last words for the people, the world,
The listeners, the
for our
viewers.
19 subscribers?
That's right.
Is that what you
Yeah.
How about subscribing if you're out there and you haven't subscribed yet? There's a last word.
Like
No,
and
man, I just
subscribe.
appreciate it, y'all, for letting me come out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Scott Sutton Death, boom, drummer in Athens, Georgia. Thanks for being on the show.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to feature a song.
Yep.
You want to do, is it Boner Pills?
I think that is the one, yeah.
No, we've got our homie Kyle Lewis is a boring name. Just put out a new track called Pills, Pills, Pills. I think it could have been the title Gas Station Boner Pills, Gas Station Boner Pills, Gas Station Boner Pills.
It's a short one.
Yeah.
But he's got Pills, Pills, Pills. Check it out. We're going to stream it right now.
I've got another couple months of pills in my blood, and I feel better now than when I was doing you as a drug and calling it love. Can we really call that love? Yes, we were in love. I've got another couple months of pills in my brain, and I feel better now than when I was driving you insane and planning your fate, orchestrating all your days. I've got to let go. I don't know how to release my hold once I've got my fingers on your bones. You're a marionette I can't control no matter how hard I pull. I've got another couple months of pills on my desk, and I feel better now, planning what is next for me and me alone. Let's play open our veins and tie ourselves together. A genius intravenous display of witty weaving. I'm weeping, wearing we as a bandage. And I'm so tired of finding love and treating you like you're a miracle. Maybe I should just grow up and learn to live my life alone. There's got to be something more than dread and killing ourselves in each other's beds. You can stay if you so choose. I'll spend my days abusing you.